Hello, I'm Natalie Walker. This video we're going to be looking at house energy clearing. Working as a psychic, I often get called to people's homes and offices and other buildings to help clear the energy. And usually it's when a lot of stuff has gone wrong. It could be, people are being affected in a bad way by a heightened paranormal activity. That's quite common. But it could also be that the occupants are finding that there's a lot of negative things that keep happening. And, anyone who understands the law of attraction knows that what you draw in is what you are. So this energy, when it's out of balance, can attract negative people, negative events, negative entities. And for some unfortunate people, it can result in quite scary paranormal activity. And some of the houses and locations I've worked on over the years have had problems with this, but it has been helped by doing a house energy clearing. So today we're going to be looking at that. So what do I mean in terms of energy? Well, if you think of everything as just vibrating energy, if we think of it in a science way, physicists and scientists have now proven that everything, including you and me, we're all just vibrating energy, as well as tables, chairs, homes. And when we go into locations, we're taking that energy with us. So when a lot of bad things have happened in someone's home, and that could be a lot of arguments, fights, it could be sudden deaths or illnesses, or just things like lack of money, a lack of abundance, and a feeling like you're stuck, like there's no energy. Everything, the minute you go into this environment, you're just drained. So what has happened sometimes is that there's been this negative imprint left from whatever's happened. So the vibration of energy is just dark and heavy. So when I go in to do a house energy clearing, all that's really happening is you're encouraging or manipulating the energy to go back from a heavy negative energy into a lighter positive energy. So what kind of tools do I use for this? Well, first of all, the person doing it, the person coming into the location, is the most important part. So doing my psychic work, most of my time is spent before I do readings or before I go into a location in deep meditation. And that is to get my energy, my vibration, regardless of what's going on in my life, into a space of love, into a space of peace, and to connect. I say connect to the source, but connect to God or whatever you feel comfortable saying. So that is the majority of the time, and that is the energy you want to take into a home or location when you're doing the clearing. If you don't feel like you're in a good space to do that, always call in someone else, a professional, a psychic, a healer, if you're lucky enough to know a shaman, or a priest, someone that spends time tuning in to positive energy and aligning themselves with it. If you do that, then that's fine. You can carry on and do this yourself. So some of the tools that I use when I go in, that I've found over the years that work really well for me, are sage and lavender, blessed oils and water, and salts, Himalayan salts or sea salts, and a positive symbol. So let me just go through those really quickly. The sage and lavender, when I go into, let's look at homes first. When I go into a home, I'll start at the door, and I will go through with the sage smoke and the lavender, and they'll be bound together like an incense stick. And what you're doing is using the smoke to change the vibration of the energy, and it dissuades anything negative to leave with the sage. And then with the lavender, and I prefer the homegrown, I grow it myself, the homegrown lavender, because that encourages positive energy to come back in and stay. So you go through every area of the house, and by every area I mean the lofts, the basements, cupboards, everything, because I have found when I've detected, when I go in and read a location as well, negative entities will go to smaller spaces because they can sense what you're trying to do. So when you go through the house, you want to cover the whole area, and to do that you don't really want to leave anything out. So go through the whole house. Obviously open all the windows and doors because you want the smoke to leave. You don't want to fill the house with smoke, you want it to leave. And be fire safe as well because you are burning an incense, so just be careful with what you're doing. Disclaimer there, this is your responsibility. You're going through your house with an incense stick. Okay, so then once I've done that, I will get holy water or blessed water and do the same kind of thing again, sprinkling it through the house. While I'm doing both of these, I'm also doing a positive meditation or mantra or prayer, because again, your voice is so important. It's changing the vibration of the energy with your voice. So once we've done that, we then would seal this positive energy in. And for that, I like using virgin olive oil. I think that's really good. And you can just seal above doors and windows with that, just a little dab above doors and windows. And then after that, I'd seal the whole house with blessed salts. And you can use Himalayan salts or sea salts. It's hard, I'm in London, England, and it's hard to sometimes seal the whole perimeter of a house because you might have another house next door, or you can't get all around the house, and into the garden as well. So really, this is the time, again, when the person should be able to visualize this seal going around the house. So that will be important as well. And then what I find really effective now is to leave the location with a positive symbol. And that could be, I prefer the handmade, anything handmade, as long as it's handmade with positivity and love. I make dream catchers and little crocheted crosses and things like that whilst I have meditated and done yoga and things, because you're imprinting that energy onto this symbol. So it acts like a kind of stop sign for anything negative trying to come into the home. So leaving the homeowner with one of those works really well. All in all, it can take about an hour, depending on the problem and obviously depending on the size of the house or location, but it should take about an hour. Just remember that you are the most important tool, or whoever's going around your house or location. So if you're not in a good place, you don't want to make it worse. So just try to be honest with yourself. If you're not in a good space to do it, don't do it in fear. A lot of people will just go around the house with sage and find that it's not really made any difference, or in the worst cases it does make it worse. So you have to be in a really, really good space. If you're not, call in someone who is, again, a psychic, a healer, a priest, or someone that is used to working with energy and transforming it. So most of those tools you can get locally to you. A lot of people email me from around the world, but I'm sure you can get the sage, salts and water somewhere local to you. I'll put them on my website as well, so you can click my website. There's a web shop on there if you need to buy any of those. And I'll also put the dream catchers and some crosses on there as well for anyone who wants those. All of those are handmade and using the positivity and prayer and love put into those symbols. So yeah, that's it for this video. But if you need any more help and advice, you can always email me. My email address is below, and I will try and help you as much as I can. Okay, so I will see you on the next video.